Welcome back, friends, to some more Planescape Torment.
Alright.
I think it's time to ascend to the second level of the mortuary.
Done.
Yes,
I'm
it is.
gone. Alright.
Searching along the way, we find absolutely nothing. You there, hold! Uh-oh. The dustman regards you with a stony gaze. Are you lost? No. You're not lost. What is your business here? I was here for interment, but there seems to have been a mistake. Who has been interred? Perhaps the services are taking place somewhere else in the mortuary. That could be. What are the other services taking place? Several interment chambers line the perimeter of mortuary. We follow the curve of the wall on the first, second floor. Do you know the name of the deceased? Yes. Pardon, I misspoke. I don't know the name. Uh-oh. That's not good. You definitely don't want him to alert everybody. That would be bad, okay?
Alright.
I'm here to see someone. Who are you here to see? I'm here to see Dahl. Dahl is most likely in the receiving room on the second floor. He's quite busy and not in the best of health. That's your pressing business. I would not disturb you. Very well. Thanks for the information. The dustman nods, then returns to his duties. Alright. That's more ideal. The skeleton number 748, according to the number chiseled above its brow, is odd only in that some of its teeth appear to be false, one made of reddish-brown stone. They're clearly not valuable, however, as the caretakers would have otherwise removed them. Someone has taken care to bind the bones of the skeleton with leather straps woven around the body in such a pattern that they resemble muscles and tendons. The straps are secured to metal bolts punched through the skeleton's joints. This skeleton looks as though it has seen a great deal of service. Many of its bones are chipped, and numerous fractures are bound with sealant and foul-smelling glues. Let's try to pry out his joint bolts. Whoa, Chief, that's vandalism. Those bolts are probably the only thing holding that bag of bones together. Necromancy only goes so far with these old fellas, you know. So? Oh, it's not a problem. Morday does a strange bobby motion that you think might be a shrug. Just wasn't sure if you knew that or not. By all means, go ahead. You pull out the iron bolts, but you're not strong enough to pull them out. They've been hammered in pretty tight. Maybe if I had the right tool, I could get them out. Or maybe backbones. Wonder if this Greybeard would mind if I borrowed his body. Greybeard? You know, geezer, old feller, yellow dog, old. Well, I don't think he's in any position to object. Why not take his body? Morday studies the skeleton for a moment and shakes his head. Nah, I need a fresher one than this. Something with a little more dignity. This one's all creaky and fractured. Alright, let's go.
I'm gone.
More needle and thread. Let's actually run downstairs here. And we can give the embalming fluid and needle and thread to
All right.
Mr. Zombie in disguise. He can make us a zombie disguise.
I'm gone. Updated my journal.
The zombie literally applies the embalming fluid to your body, then stitches up several of your scars, working from your feet upward. He stitches up your scars and finishes off the disguise by stitching up your lips. Frank! Can't you make the stitches on his lips any tighter? The zombie holds up his hand. Careful! Tongue pull stitches out. Run disguise. Zombie no talk. You got to talk slow. Careful.
Updated my journal.
Zombie frowns. Disguise won't last long. Embalming fluid dry up. Stitches fall out. Probably not last outside mortuary. No running. You run, you ruin the whole disguise. Yeah, well, we're going to run. Because I don't feel like walking. And I just wanted the 500 experience points
All right.
anyways.
I'm gone.
He's gone. Let's talk to this hot bag of bones. Despite the corpse's dry, leathery skin, it's clear this was once a beautiful woman of middle years. Whoever prepared this corpse seemed to take pity, sewing her foul lips shut with small, neat stitches, and tattooing the number 832 upon her forehead in elegant script. So, doing anything later? The corpse continues to stare at you.
I'm
The
gone.
dumb blonde stare. She must have been a blonde in the past
I'm
life.
Done. Done. I'm gone.
Empty. Ooh, a
Done.
pry bar. Some papers. Locked.
Forced it. I'm gone.
There's no locked here. This corpse's meaty head was clearly severed at some point and hastily sewn back on. Several different sets of stitching, all in various states of unraveling, seem to indicate the head is constantly being knocked back off and reattached during the course of its work. A number 79 has been cut into its temple, circumscribed by a fanged circle that appears to have been branded on its forehead. The fanged circle looks like it was branded on the corpse's forehead long ago, presumably before it died. It might be a religious icon of some sort, or rite of passage. You notice that one of the recesses between inner fangs has a small triangle within it, as if it has some special significance. I wonder if the space between the fangs match the grooves of this copper earring I have.
Updated my journal.
The corpse makes no reply. It looks as if it's too far gone to answer any questions. Let's take a look at that copper earring again. This copper earring looks extremely old. Looks like it was meant to be worn, but there doesn't seem to be a hook or any means of actually attaching it to your ear. There's a series of strange grooves on the inside of the earring, however. Insert your fingernail into the notch that matches where the triangle is pointing in the fanged circle you saw on Zombie 79's forehead. You hook your fingernail into the third groove from the top and press it inwards. As you do, there is a click, and the top of the earring snaps open. Not only can you wear the earring now, it also looks like there's a secret compartment inside the earring. You shake the earring, but nothing comes out. Whatever was hidden in the earring is gone now. Interesting. And we have the clot charm. This glistening blood drop is hard and smooth as a pearl. When placed on the tongue, it dissolves instantly and spreads to the character's bloodstream. The charm stimulates the user's blood into clotting and scabbing over existing wounds, healing any minor damage the user might have suffered before consuming the charm. Furthermore, as long as the charm is in effect, the player's blood becomes more aware of new wounds that occur, especially any attacks that draw blood. The charmed individual becomes more resistant to slashing and piercing attacks, as their blood clots and scabs over the wound as soon as the flesh is torn. Junk! We have a pile of shit here. We have the Dustman request here. It's a note written on scrap of parchment. Contact the necromancer responsible for raising contractual worker 42. I know he's examined the skeleton before, but I'm certain the initial raising of the body was warped. The worker still responds to commands, but when it's completed a task, it resumes pacing in the same circular pattern as it did before. Dahl recently informed me that worker 42 exhibited the same walking pattern when it was a zombie decades ago. There may be a soul echo in the marrow, or a skeleton's age may have caused the magic animating him to decay. One of the initiates suggested it may be following an order issued by a higher-ranking dustman in the past, but I have found no records. Whatever the reason for its behavior, the matter is to be resolved, or the worker replaced. This animated skeleton smells horrible, as if it's been freshly stripped and prepared. Its jaw and major points are tightly bound with leather straps, and a rough smock has been thrown over it. The number 1221 has been chiseled into his forehead. And we still need
I'm gone. All right.
tool, a hammer, to pry the joints out here.
All right.
A mortuary sanctum key. The number 1146 is carved into the forehead of this walking corpse. Its lips are sewn together with coarse black thread. The entire body is covered in horrible scars, worse even than your own, as if its owner had been burned to death. Its nose, ears, and several digits are missing, presumably charred away in some long ago conflagration. As you block its path to get its attention, it stops and gazes at you with vacant eyes. So, seen anything interesting going on? You there, hold! Are you lost? No? I'm here to see someone. I'm here to see Dahl. Now leave me alone, Dustman. I'm not here to talk to your dusty ass.
Done.
There's the hammer. Now we can have some fun.
I'm gone.
Horror! I do not speak horror. Let's try to pry out these bolts here. Using your pry bar, you rip the bolts from the skeleton's joints. The skeleton collapses, some of its bones still twitching. Sorry about that, bones. We gain an item. What did we gain? A leather strap. Oh. Leather strap used to bind the skeleton worker bones together. Although the strap is frayed along its edges, it's pretty strong. Okay. And an iron spike. Could use that as a dagger. Big deal. A heavy work hammer. Its long handle and metal head looked like it could shape steel and crush gold with ease. Oh yeah. That's our new weapon of choice. It's a hella big hammer.
Right. I'm gone. All right.
You there, hold.
I'm gone.
I'm not holding, you hold.
All right.
Busy searching.
Done. Done. I'm gone. Done. Forced it.
Bone charm. Maybe that's the finger bone.
I'm gone.
Oh, I'm not lost. I'm here to see Dahl. Leave me alone. This corpse's slightly misshapen head appears to be held together by a number of narrow metal bands bolted directly into the skull. A rusting iron plate over its left eye has the number 475 etched onto it. Its mouth is bolted shut. And he has nothing to offer. We need to find Mr. Number 42. Don't want to go in there. The skeleton is particularly old, the leather straps binding it together cracked and worn. The word repent has been carefully engraved onto its forehead with some amount of skill. A rougher hand later chiseled 996 onto both its temples. I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to dissect these skeletons right in front of you.
I can't carry anymore, so I had to drop it.
Inventory, fool. Are you kidding me? Whoa, alright. This is all junk anyways. Dustman Embalming Charm. What is this? Strange metal bracelet has directions inscribed on the side of it. Judging from the crude text, it appears the bracelet works by being held by a living creature. Then while pronouncing a mantra to the true death, it is touched to the forehead of the zombie or skeleton. When this is done, the minor enchantment held within the item spreads to the corpse, strengthening their bones, killing traces of corpse rot and or grave mold, and helping to seal minor tears in the skin. This adds +2 to 8 temporary hit points and +1 to AC for half an hour. The Corpse Fly Charm. The corpse fly looks as if it was frozen. It appears to be dead, but you can't be sure. The magic contained within the charm is activated when the insect is consumed. When swallowed, the recipient suddenly becomes extremely nauseous. I wonder why. A few seconds later, the charmed individual expels a stream of insects from their nose and mouth. Provided the charmed individual can keep their wits about them after the casting, the caster can then send this cloud to attack the target. That sounds groovy. The Bone Charm, adding +2 to AC. 15% resistance to crushing attacks. This old finger bone charm has been hollowed out and tiny symbols have been scratched on the surface. The user must snap it in two to activate it. When snapped, the bone charm temporarily strengthens the user's skeleton and acts as a ward against breaks and fractures. The charm gives the user an overall bonus to their AC.
All right.
The skeleton turns to face you. 42 has been chiseled into its forehead, and the number of its bones, mostly the jaws and joints, have been bound with leather straps. A black smock is draped over its body. I think this is the corpse I had a memory about. In response, the skeleton drops its arms to its side. The leather cord securing the skeleton's torso snaps, and the ribcage folds outward like a pair of double doors. To your surprise, your hand vanishes as you reach inside the ribcage. You have a strange feeling it's somewhere else. As you reach inside the ribcage, your hand bumps an invisible object. It's about the size of a fist and seems to be attached to the skeleton's spine. As you pull the item out, the skeleton suddenly disintegrates and iron bolts securing its joints clatter to the floor. Whatever this item was, it seems to have been the only thing holding it together. It looks like an unremarkable lump of iron. You can't imagine why someone would hide it inside the ribcage. As you place both your hands on the lump of iron to examine it, there is a sss, and metal evaporates, leaving behind a strange dagger, a handful of coins wrapped in a dirty cloth, and 2 bloody teardrops. These look as if they were inside the lump of iron. Alright. A green steel knife. This razor-sharp knife has been forged out of the famed Batorian green steel, found only in the wastelands of Avernus. This peculiar green ore can be tempered into metal much lighter than normal steel. In addition, green steel weapons tend to retain their remarkably fine edges and are capable of dealing out more damage than their standard counterparts. I will replace the scalpel with that. I still want my big hammer equipped though.
I'm gone.
Very close to leveling here.
All right. All right. Done. I'm gone.
He's gone.
All right. All right.
Hey, baby. This especially ghastly-looking female corpse is missing ears, nose, and lips. Oh, yeah. In order to sew her jaw closed, whoever prepared her had to draw the skin especially tight around her mouth. You can see a line of crooked yellow teeth through the opening slit that remains. The number 891 has been carved into the flesh of her brow. She also is remotely retarded.
I'm gone. Done.
Well,
All
let's
right.
see if this key
Done.
works here. Yes, it does. This doddering corpse has had its eyes sewn shut as well as its mouth, and the number 732 is carved on its brow. The threadwork that keeps its ocular cavity sealed looks extremely old. You wonder if the eyes were sewn shut before or after the man's death. You notice he's carrying a huge tome. Take the tome from his hands carefully. You carefully take the tome from the corpse's hands. It doesn't seem to notice. The tome appears to be a book of enchantments and wards. It's filled with diagrams and charts dealing with various aspects of necromantic arts. The book itself is extremely heavy. As awkward as the zombie is, it must be extremely strong. Sorry about taking that book from you. Just looked too interesting to pass up. Let's examine the book here. The Tome of Bone and Ash. This worn leather-bound tome lists diagrams, charts dealing with several minor wards, enchantments. There are numerous drawings of skeletons, bones, and the manner by which they may be preserved over time. Of particular interest is a section regarding guardians. Apparently the dustmen animate corpses of fallen giants to serve as guardians for the mortuary. To make them even deadlier, armoring enchantments are woven into the breastplates to help shield them from attacks. This book is much too complex for you to absorb all at once, but it looks as if you could refer to certain sections when the need arises. Ooh, we shall hang on to that.
All right.
Whoa. Look at these giant turd balls. Before you is a giant skeleton in ornate bronze armor. The armor has been bolted onto the skeleton's frame, and a series of elaborate symbols have been carved across the breastplate. You wonder where the skeleton came from. You weren't aware they made humans in this size. The huge blade in his hand looks like it weighs as much as a wagon cart. Examine the giant skeleton carefully. The skeleton's intricate bronze armor is riveted onto its ribcage and shoulder blades with a series of iron bolts. As you study the frame behind the armor, you notice the same iron bolts are set into the skeleton's shoulder, elbow, pelvic, and knee joints. A mass of thick leather cords, heavy knotted ropes run along the length of the skeleton's arms and legs, woven in such a pattern that they resemble muscles and tendons. Let's examine the armor. Despite the armor's obvious age, it looks well cared for. It shines brightly, and the symbols engraved on the breastplate seem to flow with firelight, shifting slightly whenever you focus on them. Studying the symbols, almost unconsciously, you let your gaze relax as you look at the symbols. After a moment, the symbols cease shifting and resolve into a trail of runes that run up and down the breastplate. Strangely enough, the interlocking patterns of the runes reminds you of chains, and with that thought, you suddenly recall that these runes are some sort of warding enchantment. Try to recall the enchantment. You study the runes for a while, but you can't decipher the enchantment. It looks pretty complicated, and you're having a hard time concentrating. Let's use the Book of Tome and Ash. You consult the tome and compare the diagrams with the markings of the breastplate. From what you can make out, the runes are a lesser armoring enchantment, but several skull-shaped runes, spherical tracings along the edges of the armor suggest that several greater necromantic and warding enchantments are woven in as well. Touching the skeleton will most likely cause it to awaken and defend itself. From what you can make out of the tome, it seems the armoring enchantment applies only to the breastplate. The necromantic enchantment allows the skeleton to be raised, but it's the warding enchantment that gives the skeleton its limited awareness of its surroundings. You'd guess if you were to mar the skeleton's wards, it would interrupt its attack, unless you blinded it to your presence first. Oh. Alright, let's try this again. We mar the runes maintaining the warding enchantment first, then work backward through the rune pattern, canceling the necromantic, then the armoring enchantment. The work is difficult and nerve-wracking at first, but slowly your mind begins to focus and the runes begin to unravel beneath your attack. Within minutes, the giant skeleton has been stripped of the enchantments binding it. It collapses, falling to the floor with a crash of bones and heavy clanging noise. Down pile of bones. And 800 experience to boot. You wait for just a moment, but no one responds to the sound. Moving quickly, you sift through the skeleton parts on the floor. Most of it too heavy or too old to be useful, but you discover a piece of the skeleton's breastplate with the majority of one of the broken enchantments engraved on it. You have a feeling it could prove useful. I'll just take it then.
I feel stronger.
Alright, we're going to level up here. Now, when you level up in Torment, you basically get, I think, a D10 every level, at least until level 10 or so. So it is random, and I am going to save and continue reloading until I get 9 or 10 hit points, because I want to get the maximum. I'm going to go ahead and save here. 5 hit points gained. That's unacceptable. So we'll be back when I find something more acceptable. Second try. Got 10 hit points here. We'll accept that. And we get to distribute point. We'll go ahead and do a point in Constitution, which will help our regeneration. Or we can do Strength and make the hit better. But I haven't quite decided if I'm going to be a mage or fighter yet. I was a fighter the first time I played through the game. So I might go with the mage character this time, since I've already kind of buffed up intelligence. Wisdom is good for either class, fighter, mage, or thief, just because of the huge experience point bonus you get. The main reason why I'm not going to start putting points, level points into wisdom, is because you can actually gain several wisdom points throughout the game to reach the 25 max, wisdom, which gives 35% bonus to experience. So now we are level 2. And we regenerate a little faster. We can start we can start messing all these big guys up. Just gonna go through the same motions here. I'm not sure if you get 800 experience every time you do this, but we're about to find out. Yes, you do.
Looks like my skills have increased.
Alright, Morty got a level. Rune of Lesser Warding. Upon closer examination of the runes covering the surface of this breastplate, you think it might be able to unlock the rune's power and use to invoke a primitive warding enchantment, similar to the one that protected the giant skeleton. Activating the rune will destroy the breastplate forever, or however. Teaches user armor. Have to be a wizard. Running out of room here. That's alright, we'll be able to get rid of stuff. Alright, and it's time for Morte to gain his level. So I'll go ahead and take care of that, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.